We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Yeah, that's all right. Good. Well, that's enough of that. We'll go with this instead. This is the Wicked Theory podcast, Captain America: Civil War special edition episode.
Spoilers.
Everybody here is special.
Spoilers.
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 Spoiler alert.
I guess.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Warning.
Oh yeah.
So I just think we should say up front that there are spoilers ahead. So
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if in case anybody
yeah.
missed it.
if you have not seen the movie, stop right now.
This
I don't
is
know
a-
why you started listening to this episode anyway.
Danger, Will
This is
Robinson.
a,
Spoiler alert.
Yes, it's a heavy dose of spoilerage on this episode, which is following straight after the episode with my friend Don, who's still here.
Yes, I am.
Hey.
Yeah, we didn't kick him
Hi,
out because he
guys.
brought these awesome best damn sodas here.
Yeah, best,
let's
that's
do-
good, good
let's-
call, Bob,
let-
because
let-
there's two kinds. Good
Yeah.
call.
Let's do
man.
this backwards. I'm
Oh,
Bill's buddy
oh,
Ed.
Oh, hey, yeah, right.
I'm Brother Bob.
Okay, and who are you, sir?
Steve. I'm gonna go. Okay, no, I'll be Bill. I'll be Bill.
And we
I'll
have
be
Don,
Bill.
we have the
I-
Doninator here.
And then
I-
my buddy Donald McIntyre.
Hi, guys.
He's we just
I'm waving here like any of you people can.
it was just
actually
we
see
had
me.
to break up
Little
the
parade
episode.
wave. Never hurt
Yeah,
anybody,
you
Don.
know, and-
Well, that's like the princess wave, though, the one you
princess
guys were
wave.
doing. Just rotate the wrist. So yeah, we couldn't maintain the timeline for
No.
the episode with Donald, and we decided, it's screw it. We'll just break out this episode and make it its own thing. So here we are, and we're gonna get right into it. We've all seen Captain America, something or other,
Yes,
and
we have.
all loved it.
Yes,
We did.
Yes,
I
Civil
get-
War, for those who are wondering.
I gave it 5 American tacos.
Now, what you have to know about
Ed did
that
give
is
it
that
5 American
is that
tacos.
is that I did not expect Ed to give it that many. Ed got in touch with me right away and was like, "This is this movie's too good. Like, it makes me feel bad about DC movies a little bit." What was your exact?
I believe the exact quote was the exact tweet was.
Okay, now you weren't drinking. I was.
No.
Correct.
Just saw hashtag Captain America Civil War. Cried the whole drive home. Cried my eyes out the whole drive home.
Right.
Why can't at DC Comics make a movie that good?
And the boldest move on that entire tweet was that you added DC Comics. You were like, "Fuck that! I hope somebody sees this."
Yeah.
And you were like, "I hope this dings them and they say it." But
DC, take notes.
and you got to
Really?
understand,
Really?
my buddy Ed here is a tried and true DC fan.
Yes.
If ever
Yeah.
there was one
Yeah.
in my radar.
I think
And-
what DC needs to do is just take a digital copy of this movie, and then superimpose DC characters,
We'll just paste their heads on.
paste their heads on,
Just a copy
and then
and paste, it'll work.
to give it a new
Yeah.
cover. And
I feel the same way about DC Comics that the good people of Cleveland feel about their Browns.
I don't know.
yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
serious love. Put
yeah.
it that way.
I'm not a sports guy, but I think I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
So
The good people of Buffalo feel about their Bills.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, the good people of Philadelphia think about their team.
Fuck the Eagles.
Fuck you. Damn it.
Thank you.
No,
As
but
a
if you walk in
Giants-
there
as a
like in any
Giants
other
fan,
team,
I
they're gonna
appreciate
kick the
that.
crap
Here
out
we
of
go.
you.
Da-da-da,
Spit on you,
da-da-da.
crap on you.
This just turned into his.
Yeah,
his
although
band. Welcome to Sports Center,
although I
people.
do enjoy the Phillies. Anyway, no, but seriously, I feel like
Oh, you want to talk about the movie?
yes,
Oh.
yes, yeah. I try,
sorry.
I try. This is the fun thing that Bill and I have is I try to find the clean segue. I try to say, all right, we're gonna pivot. We're gonna move right into it.
Pivot.
And then Bill's got to stop and say, oh, let me point out what you're trying to do right here, and then
Yes.
distract the audience so that
Yes,
we can
yes.
talk about that for another 40 seconds.
And there you went.
Can I move on now?
Agreed. You may. Continue.
So, basically, to me, I feel like Captain America: Civil War is like if you made a list of all of the things that you would want from a superhero movie, it has it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have those great action scenes. You have high stakes. You have great acting. Strong performances. Actors who believe in their characters.
Yeah, I thought Thunderbolt Ross was awesome.
Who aren't tongue in cheek, but still have fun.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think somehow they managed to, like, at no time do I feel like it's comic. It's so crazy to say that I don't feel like it's comic booky, even though it's like a living fucking comic book. Like I don't. It's this weird thing that I think that this and Winter Soldier kind of like they're in this area where it's like it just seems.
Yeah,
obviously this movie.
They play it straight.
Spoilers, right? But I mean. Giant Man pops up at the end,
and you know what?
Literally,
and
I thought that was awesome.
And I can't believe it fucking worked.
And that's the thing, and that's the thing I've been telling people, like coworkers who ask me, like, what was this movie? I'm like, you know what? Spider-Man was really cool, but Ant-Man steals the movie, and I can't tell you why because you won't believe me.
I said the same thing to my friend Jimmy, who comes to my we and I said to him because we were always talking nerd shit, and he's like, so what? And he's like, what about Ant-Man? I'm like, I like fucking Ant-Man. I'm like, what do I say about Ant-Man? Like, how do I break down for him that somehow Ant-Man goes fucking 60 feet tall or whatever, and like it works.
Right. It plays.
And like,
I love the build up to when he actually becomes.
Oh, well, that's great too.
It's like I've only tried this
once in a lab.
And
I hope it doesn't rip me in half.
Right, and then they pull back, and it's that shot of him just running across the top of the ramp.
Getting bigger and bigger.
Well, no, because the thing is that he's running so hard, and you feel like he's getting somewhere, but you don't realize.
And he's moving 3 inches.
He's going nowhere. He's basically going nowhere. He's like, and he's saying like he should have been like, I'm on my way, but I'm gonna get there in a minute. But but like that's the big, literally the big thing for me coming out of that movie was that was a scene that like for a lot of other scenes in different ways, but it seems to me to be like a through line I keep coming back to. Like there are scenes in this movie that probably shouldn't work, but they do. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not only does the Spider-Man stuff work, like it works really good. And it comes off too like it's like so like how
and it's
like how?
And like there are things that they do that sound so simple but no one ever thought of, like why don't we actually give him a Queen's accent?
Right.
Why doesn't this get sound from the area?
He actually sounds like he's from New York City.
Yeah, he does.
At least one of the boroughs.
And finally somebody who has the banter to keep up with Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
the two of them going back and forth, it was like too fast. I was losing track. I'm like, what's I can't let it soak in. I'm trying to enjoy. Slow it down.
But like that's the conversation you have with your buddy on the bus.
Especially,
right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and especially when it's like two fucking bookwormy fucking science nerds.
And he plays it nervous and uncomfortable and new all at once. This kid,
he plays it like a high school kid.
Yeah, exactly. He plays like a high school kid.
9th to 10th grade.
He knows he's got the capability. He's not sure exactly what he's doing with it. And he's still figuring it out, which is perfect because they bring him in in from his own story arc where he's just getting to know what he can do.
Yeah,
I
mean, it's a tweak.
You see his original costume with the goggles. You know what I mean?
What's funny too is like that's a tweak to his origin in a way. I was thinking about that, and it'd be interesting to see how they play with that. Where like. The literal Spider-Man costume in this world is going to be coming from Tony. Like he didn't have the whole Spider design working unless.
Right.
So it's like I'm getting ahead of myself in a way, but it was the thing I was thinking about later on, where it's like, oh, well, I wonder how that played out in a Spider-Man movie. Like if it'll
and it was the Iron Man, the Iron Man designed Spider-Man suit that he had when he was in the Avengers in the comic.
Right. I mean, it's
not his original. Blue.
No. But I mean, like he kind of goes from being the kid in the sweatpants and the homemade suit, to this obviously someone drew out webs and figured out how this lays out on a face type costume.
That also makes
Tony
sense. I mean, because there's suspension of disbelief and there's suspension, but like
it's outside of his skill set.
Yeah,
how is he putting that
but
together
also
anyway?
like to think that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would make those costumes from scratch.
Well, that's always been the thing, right? I mean, with the homemade costumes, outside of a couple of things, it's always been like, all right, you made that. You're pretty good, Superman. I didn't, or whatever. Like that was your baby blanket.
Yeah,
and you made that.
And mom sewed your cape.
Yeah, you know what?
Your human mom sewed your cape from materials.
I see someone in their textile merit badge.
That's right. There you go.
Got titanium needles and everything.
So so it is an interesting thing. But so I'm sidetracking. So now to somehow go back to the movie. I mean, All right, so I don't have a running timeline in front of me, obviously, for anything early on in the movie.
Right.
There was a point where I was like a little bit early on. I was like, oh, like we're gonna get to some shit real soon, because it was like I happened to just notice that it was getting a little not talky, but we were past the setup point. We were definitely past it, and then boom, all of a sudden we were in it. It was on. It was fucking on. And from then, like to the end of the movie, it was just fucking on.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes in the movie are the setup, and that's everything. And then
Well,
from there,
fair
you're on the
enough,
roller
yeah.
coaster, and you know, because like first 5 minutes of the movie, I'm like Wanda. Who the hell is this Wanda? I'm looking at her. I don't even recognize her as the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
I was
You were
actually
having
looking
a
at him
moment
like
there,
I was
yeah.
like, is this just supposed to be Jubilee or something? I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Well, I had a thing. I was like, where?
And I was like, I know this is not supposed. She's not supposed to be in this movie, but what's going on here? And then
Yeah.
he's like, no, he's Scarlet Witch. I was like, oh, and then like 5 minutes later, you see her in an outfit, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what I'm looking for when I'm thinking of Scarlet Witch.
Right. She had her in some regular fatigues. And I guess you just weren't familiar with her face or something.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of like from the Avengers thing. But yeah, it was what was great is that they open up with Lagos. So it's this crazy.
Well, actually, before that, they
open with a flashback with
to 1991.
1991, which was a great time. It was a great era for certain people, but not those driving in a Cadillac on a woodsy road.
I so wish it had been 1990, just so it could have been the same time as that horrible VHS movie.
The other Captain America.
Horrible.
But
Oof, we relived a little bit of that before we started.
December.
Oh, that actually brings up another question I had about the movie.
Sure.
The instead of I was talking earlier about my bullshit moment,
Right.
but that brings up another one that I just realized
Okay.
that I thought about while we were watching the movie, and it was how do you have the camera in the woods?
That's what I was going to ask too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's driving down the
Yeah,
road.
you know,
And I'm like, gee, there's a camera there?
Yeah,
in 1991?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of...
That would have been like, 12, 14 pounds, someone standing in the woods holding that thing like a boombox.
See, now, like, nowadays, like, I get it, because I've seen a lot of these things where, like, hunters put up cameras on their property so they can find, like, where the deer trails are. Like, you know what I mean? These kinds of things. Oh, is there any activity here? These kinds of things. So that's kind of, like, in my head what I took it for at first. But then I thought about it later. I'm like, no, it's 1991.
Yeah, it's black and white.
And it's, like, some backwoods road that you're lucky that there's streetlights on.
And it's moving to get the right angle.
Well, there's that too. There's that too. I just realized that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Ed. Great. Now the movie sucks. Now the movie completely sucks. I'm going home.
Yeah. Well, and
I want my money back.
Yeah, and
I
that
am home.
and that's kind of the gamble that the movie takes in some of those moments where it's like, and sometimes it's that. Yeah, technically it's all right, but you go with it because the audience trusts you.
Yeah, because you know what I go with that as opposed to something else is because that didn't completely destroy the fundamentals of the logic of what happened. Of the events, of the sequence of events, and what plays out from them.
They could have done it different. I'm just thinking now that the guy could be in the room with them with the gun saying, "Why don't you tell him what happened?"
Well, how about this,
Bucky?
We didn't need. How about this?
You know what I mean?
Actually didn't need a stationary camera point of view. We were getting a flashback shown to us from that random camera, like movie point of view in color. Like, following behind the bike and following him. And then we cut to a stationary camera.
Right.
So a stationary camera really doesn't serve anything other than to be a change in film stock. Well, we need a way for them to see it.
Yeah.
But we didn't need a way for them to see it. They could have read it in a file. They could have. It's just for dramatics.
Right.
So it's a thing where it's like you're trading off for dramatics versus logic. And it's like, all right.
But I mean, basically to get back, you have that scene where they wake up the Winter Soldier and give him a mission, and you just see him destroy a car and pull something out of the trunk.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
And that's all you know at that point. And then it cuts to Lagos in the present.
Okay, yeah, right. All right, to put it in a timeline, right. Then we cut to
Yeah.
Lagos and watch Steve kick cars around, which is great, and kick people.
Crossbones.
Yeah.
What's great.
And that's something we got to talk about is the way that they show the powers, everyone's strength. You see that Steve looks almost too strong to be human, enhanced human. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's supposed to be like an ideal human, but it plays it plays well. And then when they're in the middle of the fights and everything, and they're using their strength to like bounce themselves off of walls and stuff, you know, it's believable.
Right.
And they use that stuff really well.
I felt like they kept a reasonable limit on the physics of his strength and stuff like that.
Right, but
like he's not flipping cars necessarily, but he's definitely kicking them across. An area.
I think they got it right with him, and I think overall they got the use of superpowers during a fight visually right.
Yeah.
Also, I thought the way they used Falcon, set up Falcon's gear, because like it's not just wings; those things they do a lot more than just fly him around.
Sure,
just
he was using it as a shield when he was going.
And also to you only can get. You know what's great about a character like Falcon is that like because his skill set is probably in the real world more about what you see in the movie that like you can't really kind of pull off in the comic a little bit. Like it's panel to panel he swoops in, but you can't you
can't build that drama.
You can't build that
drama, the tension in that moment.
In that quick fast moment, and also to have something that plays with it like sure, comics do things where they break down second by second to show like maybe somebody rolling across the floor, standing up, and then taking a shot at somebody. These kinds of like 7 beats to a one instant thing.
I call that the Nightwing. Because you see that that's
all those
like the
edits.
thing when you see Nightwing do his acrobatics as he's jumping over people.
Just
kind of,
right. Sure,
where it'll be one panel, but you'll see like 10 of him going through as he's doing all the moves,
move by move, frame by frame kind of thing.
Or all those movie edits we saw in that wonderful trailer for that Captain America.
Yeah, so
there was like 27 movie edits for one like dive out of the way.
Yeah, it's a tangent, but look that up, folks. Captain America by
Honest Trailers,
and is at the end you'll see what we're talking about with the edits.
Yeah,
but
and it's wonderfully entertaining.
I feel like
a little bit.
Somebody like Falcon finally benefits from being in a movie. Like he'll never feel as cool. Like even if he's cool, great as a character. Like Cap, you can show the shield, ding 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 ding. But like some of the stuff that they pull out for fucking Falcon just feels like oh man, only in movies. Like, but who else? What else? I mean, so from there, well. We were talking about. Because in my head I'm stuck on this. Is Crossbones dies?
Yeah,
and I felt like, oh man, I didn't think we were going to lose him that soon. But that's what we do in these movies. We just pretty much kill off villains as fast as we can, which sometimes is a bummer.
Well,
but he finally got a cool suit. You know,
he looked like Crossbones.
It's a Marvel movie though. He don't have to necessarily be dead.
Yeah, but I think he's pretty much dead.
Yeah,
he blew up pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
No, but I do get you.
No, they pulled a Count Dooku with them.
That's all. They got some DNA, some kind of scraps from him. They'll regrow him.
But like the thing is, from a story perspective, that character had to die in that moment because it led. That explosion is the whole impetus for the movie.
Oh yeah, and you. I'm sure it becomes a point where it's like, in the process of writing it, it's like, well, now what do we do with Crossbones if we let him live anyway? So it's like, okay, if I could just kill him off. I mean, after Lagos.
Then we have all the, basically, Scarlet Witch makes that mistake, which is horrible to watch, just to see her reaction to those people dying.
Right, feels like shit.
Yeah. And I think that's real.
And that sets the story for the whole movie right there.
She in 3 seconds showed more compassion than Henry Cavill has in 2 movies.
He's an alien. He's not. That's just not in him. Compassion. I guess
maybe he's like another famous alien. He has no emotions.
You know what I mean? So I mean that's a great thing for her. I mean not great, but like it's a
kryptonite psychosis. There you go.
It's the wrong universe. She she's going through this kryptonite psychosis because I can't get it out of my fucking head now. I can't get past it.
No, but I think it was interesting just to see from that moment. Those people dying, that's what causes these Sokovia Accords.
Well, that's what sets it all into motion, really. And, it's one of these things where, like, what are they really fighting over? You know what I mean?
But they successfully put you on 2 sides in this movie, unlike the Superman-Batman movie.
Right, fair enough, yes.
Yes. You can feel for Tony, and you can feel for Cap. You can so when you're sitting there watching the movie, you're not feeling like you have to take sides, and you're not wondering like whose side.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean. You can sit there and enjoy the entire thing without having to worry about which side should you follow.
And this is where everyone is smart in this movie.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, everyone's opinion's justified. And everyone's point of view is understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they didn't murk it up too much. It didn't feel like a thing where it was like, oh, anybody was really leaning towards one side being more right than the other. Like one's like the true. Well, it's about both sides, but one's really right. It didn't have that going on.
Yeah, they didn't get into the politics of each person's opinion.
Right. They kind of try to keep it kind
just
of relatively.
Stated their opinions and they moved on, and that's all you need.
All right. That's good then.
So,
okay.
So
excellent movie, worth seeing 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
No, yeah.
And that's coming from a cheap son of a bitch like me.
Right. So if we actually, now if we actually saw him go at least once more, then we would know it was really good.
Yeah.
But that would seal the deal. So we got some Black Panther on screen. We got to finally see him. We got to finally see him in action, which I thought was great. It was just
Chadwick Boseman.
He's.
I'm waiting to hear that guy's real voice.
He was on live with Kelly and Michael, who a week it opened. He's from like the neighborhood.
Yeah. He's local.
Well, it's just because like
the
movies I saw him play Jackie Robinson in 42.
Yeah.
I saw him play Vontae Mack in Draft Day, where he has this really wild Alabama accent.
Oh, he's got a lot of energy, does he?
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, Sonny Charles Jr.
Oh,
I can't afford to go drop 13 picks in the draft.
Damn, you blew out Bob's eardrum.
I'm sorry.
He has a habit of doing that.
Normally, I don't let my headphones be up this high, so when Ed's here, so I'm going to tone mine down right now. Ed, you leave yours up.
No, and he also played James Brown in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I forgot that movie's name.
I don't know. Get up, get down.
Get on up.
Get on up.
Get up. But no, yeah. So he's finally here. We finally got a pivotal role in the whole thing, and he
plays it well.
He does play it well. I feel like it's a thing where he's just kind of being cool though about it, like because really there's a couple of times where I'm like when they do like the lineup stuff at the tarmac, or when it's like, okay, he would really just be like he's 5 feet away. You would just be like yoking him in the face. You would just totally, like Bucky's 6 yards away. You would be on him right now, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, all right, you're playing it cool. You're a diplomat. I got it. You know what I mean? You're a diplomat in a super suit.
Well, they do play him a little bit. Like, you're actually talking about the airport scene, right?
Well, I was talking about actually when they finally
because they do the lineup and he's just standing there. He walks into that though, and he's kind of like not sure what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. He does kind of come.
And he's kind of they have him kind of like 2 steps back from everybody else.
Yeah.
And off just a little bit. He's still in the lineup, but he's not quite sure what's going on. So he's waiting to see what happens before he jumps in.
And he's not really on Tony's side. He's not.
He's on his own side. He's got his own agenda throughout the whole movie.
He's just out to get the winner.
Yeah, he's clearly
that's the only guy.
He's only with them.
But now the next movie will be in Wakanda.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's going to get his own movie now. So the question kind of comes up for that is like, what's going to happen there? What's going to, is it going to be a thing where we happen to come into Wakanda because Steve maybe has put them in a tough place, because at the end of the movie, at the very, very end of the movie, after the credits, Steve's there, and he's got Bucky in a freezy freaky tube, just chilling. And he's all like, nah, it's for the best, man. I'm just going to take a nap. And he's like, it's going to be good. I'll come out when y'all can figure me out.
My shoulders will be even bigger and wider.
You know what I'm saying? We'll let my arm grow. Do like a little thing, let my arm grow. And then he'll be back. You know what I mean? No big deal. But the thing is that, like, is this the thing that kind of maybe will put some thrust on the Black Panther solo movie, or will the solo movie actually be able to have its own impetus, its own internal impetus for being, as opposed to just being an echo of events from this, which I'm fine with either way. I'm not trying to nitpick it, but I'm just saying. I'm curious.
Well, that's always been a not a primary destination for Marvel,
right?
So it can do whatever. I think it'll do whatever it wants. I think we'll see it in a Cap and Bucky movie before we see a Black Panther movie.
Well, Black Panther's on
No,
the
Black
schedule.
Panther's slated for 2018.
Really, it is?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I didn't know.
slated.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
follow this.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't worry about that
Bob
stuff.
plays the neutral kind of role.
I don't
for
worry
us.
about. Yeah, I don't worry about
Yeah.
those movies
you
that
know what
are
it is,
planned
too,
for
for
the
me?
next 3 years and
Well,
stuff.
for me,
I'm not that hardcore into movies.
Right,
I gotta
like
know.
I think the rumors that we've been hearing is Martin Freeman's character is supposed to show up in that, and
Okay. Because that's
and-
the thing,
God
too.
will be in the movie.
Andy Serkis.
Well, because-
Claw.
Right. Well, which makes more sense for the two of them being involved at all, because it almost feels Martin Freeman's character almost feels superfluous, where it's like, okay, did we have to get Martin for this? But now that you tell me that, well, it's kind of like the plan that he'll come back in that movie and have obviously a bigger role, that's what he's really being cast for. It's not so much we're casting him for right now as much as we're just kind of having him pop up because, hey, look what we can do, stunt casting with this guy who could have been anybody.
Right.
You know, because basically what did he do? He just kind of came in
Right,
and
well, that's
said,
what they do with
Yeah,
Stan
and-
Lee. So
Stanley effect. But I mean, because I felt like, you know, well, as much as it was good to see him, it was good to see a Baggins in the Marvel universe. He really didn't, you know, you know.
He didn't do you could tell like that character's supposed to be doing something else. They're setting him up down the line.
Yeah, I mean, just because, you know, he's a different kind of actor.
But by the way, for anyone wondering, the Black Panther movie is scheduled to debut February 16th, 2018.
Wow, that's
that's going to be the Deadpool window.
right, well,
That's right around Valentine's Day.
That's Deadpool time.
That's the Deadpool success window.
So
So maybe we'll get Deadpool in a Black Panther movie.
So
No, never.
Fun fact, the Black Panther was created 2 months before the founding of the Black Panther Party.
I wonder where they got their idea from then.
probably from the Black Panther that's in Africa. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that there was more cool shit in this movie, and we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, well, we could dedicate like the next 3-4 hours to this movie.
Well, true. We're only half an hour in,
Mm-hmm.
so we got some more time here. I'm wondering if
You want me to pull up some of these questions?
pull up some of these points.
All
here
right,
that
all
we might
right.
have
So,
seen on
so
this website.
Comic Book Resources has 14 burning questions about Captain America: Civil War. Let's not go through all of them, but we'll start with, you know, and a lot of these are general.
Sure,
so we could
sure,
could just say, you know. So first question up here is, what happens to Cap's shield?
You know, it's he leaves it behind, and this kind of follows a theory that I had going into this, that he wouldn't, because some people were like, oh, you know, in Civil War the comic book he dies. The spoiler alert, but like, you know, he dies. Obviously, he comes back in the comics, but like, you know, he gets sniped, and so my thinking was that, because people were like, oh, do you think he's gonna die? And I was like, no, he's gonna resign. I thought that at the end of this, he would do like they did in the '90s,
Condor.
where he went to the Congress, kind of like came to him and was like, we own Captain America, we own the Shield, we own all of it. You work for us, or you don't work. You know what I mean? So like he kind of like, and they let him think about it, and he came back like the next day and was like, well, here's the Shield. I quit. I'm not gonna for the same basic principles
Where
as
Captain
as
America
this.
went from Captain America to the Captain.
Indeed. You know, this is not when he became Nomad. Let's not confuse
Okay,
that.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
I'm
is this
sorry.
when he had the van and
I
he was driving around with
apologize.
the kid?
I screwed up.
Basically.
I thought that Nomad was Condor. I thought Condor was the character that he was in like the 70s. Or
Well,
the 80s.
so like
He
the
was
first
Nomad.
time Steve quit, he became the Nomad, which another character picked up for a while. Jack Monroe, I think.
Jack Monroe.
Jack Monroe. But eventually, you know, Steve gives up Nomad, becomes Cap again, and then he gives up Cap in the 90s, and then becomes the Captain,
He's wearing U.S. Agent's
which is a
original
costume, right? Which is a
basically.
costume that U.S. Agent takes up. U.S. Agent is John Walker, who replaced Cap before he became U.S. Agent as Captain America, because that's how comics is done, kids.
This is
Can
not
we
to
get-
confuse anyone with the Patriot.
No, which John Walker was the super patriot.
Super Patriot.
Right. During the whole Power Man run.
Right.
Power Broker.
Broker.
Power
Right,
Broker.
right, remember that?
Thank you, Mark Grunwald, for all of those stories.
The 90s was such a wonderful time.
It was. There was a run there, like, you know, granted I was a kid, but I was fucking digging it, you know. I remember bothering Mom. Like, I was reading the Hulk, obviously different comic, but I was reading the Hulk at the time, too, and I was like, I would have bothered Mom. Be like, this is crazy what they're doing. He's got multiple personality disorder. I don't know why I'm bringing this
That was,
up. but-
what's his name? Brian David?
Peter David.
Peter David.
Peter David.
Peter
So,
David.
anyway, I don't know why. I just
Well, that's,
tangentialized.
you know, he saved that one.
Well, yeah, he
they
fixed
were
the
ready
book.
they were basically getting ready to like
He was in-
discard the Hulk.
Literally, he worked in sales, and he was like, "I got an idea." Oh, basically, like, "I'll hey, I'm looking to write," and they were like, "Okay," and he fucking fixed it.
Yeah.
Long time to do it, but he fixed it. What's your next one, Ed?
All right, let's skip through some of these. 'Cause
Okay,
some of
yeah,
these
no,
are-
I know.
Let's just try and get through some.
All right,
quick.
will James Rhodes ever be War Machine again?
Yeah.
Probably. You know
Yeah,
what?
Tony's gonna come up with something to fix his spine.
You know what they'll probably do? What would be cool if they do? If they finally do the story from back in the day where Tony actually gets stuck in the suit, I think like in low
Right.
orbit or something like that, and needs Rhodey to go into to jump in the suit and come rescue him.
Okay.
I think there was like a story or something
Right.
like that.
Wasn't there a storyline at one point where Tony couldn't walk unless he had the legs on?
Well, there's a storyline where Tony gets shot by a girlfriend and he's paralyzed, and so he can only walk when he's in the suit. So, generally speaking,
Right.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So they'll just
they
take
could do
that,
something like that.
and then they'll do that with Rhodey for
Well,
a while.
basically, I'm sure like being in the suit will probably feel like a thing for him, where it's like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
maybe I will want to get back in it.
Yeah.
you
He'll
know.
be the handicapped superhero
He'll be like that guy
in
in
Marvel
that 1990s.
for a while, and then
in
that'll
that,
get the handicapped people in the next movie loving it. You know what I mean?
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's all accessible. What you got next, Eddie?
Where's Black Widow?
Connecticut,
Okay. Where is Sharon Carter?
Rhode Island.
All right. What has Spider-Man gotten up to thus far?
much.
He's trying to get his hand up of Mary Jane's skirt.
Oh wait, listen, you.
Well, he's 16.
He's like
It
14.
would be Gwen Stacy at this point. in high
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
All right. Well, hey.
But, true. You're right. No, you're
16,
right. No, you're
come
right. Yeah,
on.
14, 13, 12. It's all basically the same.
Probably under the shirt, but over the bra.
Right. First
Yeah,
base,
yeah,
first
yeah.
base.
First
First
base,
base,
first
second base,
base.
first base, second base.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get to first base.
There you go. So,
We hashed it out.
there we go. We worked it out. But basically, yeah, he's been mixing it up in Queens. It looks like he's just been having a good old time. It's probably, not that long
Mm-hmm.
after. I watched a video, too, of the Russo brothers, the directors of this,
Yeah.
talking to doing a Q&A, and they were asked, well, how does Tony, know about Peter? Because Peter seems relatively new on the scene. So, how does Tony know so much? And it's just the idea that basically, like, yeah, it goes unsaid, but, like, Peter's obviously been doing stuff out there, and he's known.
Yeah.
And it's within Tony's kind of purview to kind of, like, be on top of this kind of wackiness. And
Exactly.
between,
Iron Man, like making sure all his tech is not being used for the wrong purposes. And all that. Yeah.
Well, but just,
Eye in the sky kind of crap. He does have government ties.
he's a concerned citizen. He wants to know
Right.
what's out there. And
Right,
it's
right.
you hear rumors of a
His
giant.
name isn't Mulder.
rumors are out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You hear these rumors of a guy in a blue and red suit running around stopping crime.
Right. You might look into it a little bit. Or maybe he's got just a Google alerts on this kind of a thing. Like, what I mean? So, what's the next one on that, buddy?
All right, now this is a little bit more of an extended MCU question. Will the Sokovia Accords affect the characters of the Marvel television shows, like
No.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage?
No.
The actual Netflix shows.
Yeah. Well, just remember, I'm not a Marvel comics guy, so but when I remember, like, when the Civil War comic book came out, I thought it was a lot more about registration.
Yes.
And I thought that was going to be that wasn't what this movie was about at all.
Not
No,
particularly,
no. I think they wanted to stay away from that because that was a topic used in
Yeah.
some Fox movies with Marvel characters in them.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. The Marvel Universe as a whole has always had superhero registration acts or mutant registration acts as different storylines have popped up throughout the years. Like, you know what I mean? I forget which one predates one versus the other, but
Yeah, and if you
I
actually,
think mutants would have been first because that
Probably,
started with the
yeah.
X-Men.
and if you actually look at that document, that packet that
yeah.
Ross
Thick.
hands, the title on it does say superhuman registration.
Yeah,
So that is a part of it, and they've like sort of mentioned it on Agents of
Yeah,
Shield.
yeah.
Like from time to time, they'll pop up.
It is
Oh,
registration
this
to
person
the
needs to be
list.
registered.
Yeah, this list that they're working on, these kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, to see something come out of it on Shield, Like like Shield's tied in. I think Shield's like officially tied in. If I you know what I mean, I dropped off on Shield a little bit, and finally like supposedly like the season's like really good, but I don't know about really good for Shield. It's not really good for other shows. Yeah, look at it. It's like I'm watching it. It's all right.
Yeah, I saw a commercial for that recently that was like, wow, it actually is like amping up to be more like the movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they're trying to at least like give certain characters some weight and some gravitas.
That's the other thing. Like, there's, I can really understand them taking Inhumans off the schedule because this season, or the last 2 seasons, really have been Inhumans.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, they're just doing the Inhumans thing basically on there.
Yeah,
which is fine and good.
Yeah, they don't have Black Bolt. That's that's
well, that's the thing. They just don't have the royal family. Is the thing? Like, you know what I mean?
There's no Black Bolt. There's no Medusa. There's no Gorgon
and no giant dog. No Lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Oh, no Lockjaw. But he's so cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird sticky wicket for them. I think the Inhumans thing because like they want to kind of back off it a little bit. I think maybe they might just be hoping that it's going to shake out where I think they would. Who knows what the plan is for the Inhumans anyway? Even like the loose plan. Like, so was that ever really something they had any confidence in all? Because they would have stuck to it, no?
I mean, as far as the Sokovia Accords, I can see it playing into Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Daredevil doesn't really fall under that.
I would say no, simply because we're talking about right now. It seems like they're 2 things. That seems like
they're going in different directions.
Daredevil is very capsulary. Jessica Jones, all that. It seems like that's one little corner of the Marvel universe. Yeah. That's all on its own and versus the movies.
Yeah, I mean, they are trying to do this kind of thing where it's like, one reflects the other, but here's the thing. I think if the Superhuman Registration Act came into those shows as a thing, like it would have to dominate by logic. It's like it's just federal thing. It's it's like otherwise we're locking you up. So it's a matter of them staying off the radar, maybe then.
Well, I think that's
I think those are characters that generally do stay off the radar.
Right. So they could play it like that. Is that where you were kind of going?
The Netflix shows are more street level characters. They're not talking. You're not talking about these giant world changing events. It's all in this one neighborhood in New York City. They don't
it's
really
crazy town.
Right. They don't really stray from Hell's Kitchen. They stay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't see that. Maybe you'll get you'll see it in a newspaper on a table, something like that.
In the news.
I don't think you can really get anything
storyline
because
it
affect the character. Right. I mean, it won't really affect the characters in the Netflix.
Yeah, because that would take away from the environment, and the environment is as much a character in those shows as the people.
Sure. Eddie.
Yeah. All right. Quick yes or no question. Do we still call him Ant-Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is an Ant-Man, there's a Giant Man. Giant Man is retired at this point, and Ant-Man is
I think
working with him.
The fact that he became a giant, does that automatically make him Giant Man?
No.
And I think just from a marketing standpoint, he'll
stick to it.
Yeah.
You just stick to it.
Yeah.
Let's not mix it up because otherwise, we'll get into the whole Yellow Jacket thing.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually you could branch off and you could bring back Henry Pym as Giant Man. Because he needs
old man.
Because he needs to be there for some specific reason. Because he's an old guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're never going to see Giant Man.
I would love to see a giant foot, like a giant 60-foot, like sleeveless sweater, kind of wearing guy, like, moving all slow, like hey, and he drops
with the 35-foot cane.
No, he drops a giant butterscotch candy by accident. Oh no, it killed a busload of kids. But
you got Scott Lang,
sure,
as Ant-Man right now.
Yep.
I can't for the life of me remember his actual name from the comics. Irredeemable Ant-Man. What was that character's name?
The other guy who
other
took it?
Ant-Man. The one was the most recent one.
Well, whatever the answer is, we're going to have to edit it out and use this question in another quiz.
Eric O'Grady.
There
Eric
you go.
O'Grady.
Was that fucking the internet? Was that the internet?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Let's thank the
Thank
internet.
you, Google.
Thank you, Google.
So you could transition, theoretically speaking.
Yeah.
Scott Lang into the Giant Man role and bring Eric O'Grady in.
You could do.
You could do something like
Eric
that.
O'Grady was like a hardcore thief.
Yeah, I think Eric was more of a jerk off. Eric is more of a dick and suffered for it in the end, and that's why it ends up going back to Scott Lang.
Yeah.
Scott Lang, who was always
the
first thief,
the
thief,
the thief with the heart.
the original thief. So does that kind of round out that article, Ed?
What is Wanda's connection to the Mind Stone?
You know, that's an interesting question because when I read that article,
Gorilla Glue.
I forgot that because they claim that she gets her powers originally from that Mind Stone.
Yeah, from Loki's staff. That's what they used to create Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Okay, that's how they get their powers in
Yeah.
the movie. See, I wasn't sure about that. That was the thing like I must have missed. I must have not.
Yeah.
Well,
put
no,
two
the
and two-
Mind Stone, Loki's staff contained the Mind Stone.
Right, that I know. But that it created Quicksilver and Wanda?
Yeah, basically
Well,
they were
used it
they
to
were
create
they were doing experiments with a lot of different people.
Okay.
and
it only stuck with them.
Yeah, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were the only ones who survived.
Gotcha. Right. Okay.
Okay, so and a lot of this week is yes or no. Just give me a straight yes or no to this question.
Impossible.
Will we see Bucky in Black Panther?
See him in that movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think briefly.
I think we'll see the tank in the background.
Yeah, but
I'm
thinking end of the
Well, here's the
movie.
thing.
See,
Well,
I'm of the other side of you guys. I think that he's got to be the story point.
it might very well be. Well, I think
Because-
because this goes back to the fact that number one, Cap doesn't have a fourth movie before Avengers, and how are we gonna segue from this movie? How this movie ends with Cap and now the team, whoever he steals out of the prison, back on the run. Like, how do we get from there to Avengers? Will we see them again before that? Because the next Avengers movies are coming,
Right.
And they've already split it into two, and that's going to have Thanos. So it's like, how are we going to get from there to here? Will maybe Black Panther be the midway point where we'll touch base with them again? Because since Cap's hiding out there, Bucky's in the basement. Get the Bucky in the basement. You know what I'm saying? And just chilling. So it seems like a convenient place to do that.
Yeah. I don't think we know enough about Wakanda and the Black Panther to have something else happen that would be interesting enough to be a main story point.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm thinking it would end up having to be Bucky.
sure.
And maybe that's what ends up leading us to a Bucky and Cap movie.
It works.
Because
It
it's
works.
got to happen. They're keeping Bucky around too friggin' long. If they were going to just have the Winter Soldier storyline and that was it, then we would be done with Bucky.
Yeah, we would
You
have
know
kind
what
of
I mean?
like
We would not be seeing any more of Bucky at all.
Well, or at the
So-
very least, he would be officially the good guy side now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we would have cleared up his issue with being.
But now,
good or bad.
we've cleared that up with this movie. He's questionable in the beginning, but in the end, he's there with everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
He's making sacrifices with everybody else. He lost his arm. Blah, blah, blah. So
He's
I'm
only as
thinking a
much as
Cap
now-
and Bucky movie has to happen. It would be awesome. So obviously
Sure.
they're going to end up doing it. It's just a matter of when. They're going to turn everything around in the history so that it's more modern. But that's digressing.
I see what you're saying. No,
But yeah, so I think that it's got to happen like that.
All right. Two more questions.
okay.
Will Secretary of State Ross continue to have a presence in the MCU?
Absolutely.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hope so too. It was
You know what's great? Would be great is the fact that we don't have Nick Fury playing that linchpin kind of character who kind of pops up all the time. He'd be great for that. You know what I mean? Like, and now he's in a position to do that on official capacity.
Yeah, they could
kind
put
of a
Nick
way.
Fury into the Avenger movies as a buffer between Ross and the
Oh,
Avengers.
sure.
Yeah, and I actually think that character works better than Nick Fury in some ways in that he's not on their side.
Yeah,
He's cautious about them. The same way like that character thinks that the Hulk is a horrible monster that needs
Right.
to be stopped.
Yes.
He would be the good guy in a Godzilla movie.
Right. Sure.
Yeah,
Here he's like, what else you got?
The last question we'll talk about today is what's the deal with Everett K. Ross? And that was what was that? That was Martin Freeman's character.
Now, like, I don't know. We kind of touched base on it a little bit, but I mean, I think what's the deal with him? I don't know. I think just overall,
What's the deal with Ross?
what I would much rather say is what's the deal with Baron Zemo moving forward? Is Baron Zemo, because he's one of the few Marvel movie villains to have survived, is he
Right.
somebody who we're going to come back to down the line? Will he one day get a mask, maybe? And,
Yeah.
Now, he's going to be the
yeah.
guy who resurrects Hydra.
it's
that would be a
Okay.
good position point.
that's
That's
Good
absolutely,
and he's the second Baron Zemo. He is Helmet, not Heinrich.
Oh, fair
From
enough.
the
Oh,
Flash.
I'm sorry. Got to keep my Von
He's-
Zemos correct.
The Zemos, Bon Zemo.
Von Zemo.
I actually like what they did with his character. I like that he's very manipulative.
Usually that stuff doesn't work for me. Usually, like, it just feels kind of like, okay, That's convenient and nice and neat. And it was a thing where it was like, maybe because they waited to the last moment to give you much of that at all.
Right.
As opposed to like laying the seeds for it early on. And sometimes that you oversell me on the bad guy's motivation. So in the last moment, I'm just like, oh, okay. All right. Because it's not some new kind of thinking like, okay, you guys caused some destruction and I hate you for it. It's coming back from revenge. Hans Gruber's brother coming back for revenge in Die Hard.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? You did me wrong, so now I want to find a way to do you. We kind of expected something different from him at some point. So when he came up with that, it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. It works. But I feel like he's the kind of guy where, like, obviously he's good at his shit, and he's got to come back, right? I mean,
I would hope so. I'd like to see him in something else, whether it be a Black Widow movie. That'd be
yeah, I think he's just got to pop back up. I mean, I don't know what prison he's in, but if he's in the Raft, he's obviously easy to capture. He's easy to fucking break out, I think. You know what I mean? Or he's easy to go visit. For an underwater sea base, it doesn't seem.
Well, if he's there, I mean, he might just get out in the aftermath of Captain America getting everybody out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that's going to happen.
You know what I mean? So,
but I think, what do we think overall about this movie? I mean,
it
was absolutely disgusting, wasn't it? I mean,
I'm not
how
happy.
awesome it was.
I'm not happy at all.
Right? I mean, I know that's how Ed feels.
Yeah. It feels unclean.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think one thing that, and a lot of the Marvel movies for the past 2 or 3 years, it felt like there was too much, like there wasn't enough enjoying that movie. And there was a lot more setting up what's going to happen in over the next couple of movies, and I didn't get that vibe from this.
As much as it could be all in there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it
and
is
we have all those. We obviously have all of those questions.
Right.
But there was no moment where it was like, oh, this person's just here to get me familiar with them.
Yes.
It was It was more natural.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to feeling like, oh, these are just moving pieces in a bigger piece.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the ending leaves things
up
in the air.
It feels like instead of them saying, okay, this is the story, we wrote it all down, but now we got to put these ideas in there for the future. They wrote the story down with that in mind.
Yeah.
Everything became more fluid, which I think is what helps this movie, because the last one was so well done that the only way to make this one better would be to refine. It's not about changing a lot of things. It's about making sure that the things you got right, you get that much better, and the things that weren't quite right, you nail. And they did that this time. There wasn't a lot of stuff that was confusing visually or story-wise in it at all. Everything flowed from beginning to end nicely. There was no real drop-offs in the pace.
No, it held up. It held up like these kinds of big movies usually don't hold up.
Right.
Like on all cylinders. Like I really feel like there was only a couple moments. Like I'm a sucker for things that will pull me out of a movie a little bit.
Right.
But I only feel like there was like maybe one.
Right.
And it was like whatever.
It's like Transformers movies.
Yeah.
They're okay in the beginning. They lose them. They lose you in the middle because there's no real story. And then you get to that 45-minute battle. then you're golden. You're having a great time.
Right.
But
this
was story and action were flowing evenly throughout the whole movie. Right from the get-go, you had and you see it right from the credits, because you have enough story exposition to get you into where we are now, and then boom, the action starts. You got people with close quarters fighting right there in the desert.
Like you would swear these guys used the science on the script, where it's like everything is down to like the timing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's the fight sequences service the story services service the action sequences.
Right. And there was enough new and exciting things in the action sequences to keep you going, ooh, oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Ooh, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kool-Aid.
All right. Well, enough.
But, awesome movie. Go see it 10, 20 times if you want. We're not going to judge you for it.
No,
all right. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
How many American tacos are you going to give it, Donald? Unless we said it already. Just remind the folks.
Oh, we did, but I gave it 4 1/4.
4 1/4.
American tacos.
I gave it 5.
You gave it 5. Legendary.
Yeah. I gave it 4.75.
I gave it a solid 4.
Yeah.
I probably should have gave it more.
Because Tony Stark doesn't have his Iron Man suit at one point in the movie.
So much for
When he
using that
should.
sound clip for going out. So I didn't know how long that sound clip was.
All
I
right.
was
Well,
trying
you want to
use
do it
like
again, and I'll keep my mouth shut.
I'll just chop you off at the end. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you for listening to the Wicked Theory podcast.
Yeah, I'll just cue it up again. There we go. We'll just do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can follow me on Twitter at Edward O'Hare TBD.
You can find Donald.
I'm at prof_Politico.
Brother Bob.
Bob at WTPC.
And I'm Bill. I'm at Wicked Theory. You can find wickedtheory.com for episodes and find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, and Stitcher.